hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Thank you, StreamYard. Hello! I apologise if there was any crashing or banging or echoes of my stream that I've sort of got on to watch going on. So I suddenly sort of realised I didn't have my headphones and I forgot to put my mic on mute whilst that intro was going on. And I never do that, and I never actually realise if it does anything before, because I'm not one that goes back and watches my streams. Right, hey, happy Wednesday, day before your Thanksgiving in America and anywhere else that might celebrate that. And I hope you're having a nice prep day, if that's like what people do before. My mum doesn't do that for Christmas, so I don't know sort of if people have like a pre-prep day. But yeah, glad that you're here. Hello, Chad and Hans in the chat. Welcome, lovely to have you. And I'm going to welcome on Whitney to the stage with me. Hey, how are you? Oh no, I can't hear you.
It's that little button on the microphone.
There you go.
I figured it out. So
yeah, that's all right. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I saw you were biting. Oh, sorry. I was going to say I saw you were biting MED Baker's chat before this. Very interesting and disturbing case. But yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, usually I'm a law nerd, so I typically a lot of what I usually do on YouTube is watch either court trials or testimony, things like that, depositions, which I find interesting. But on my channel, I also read court documents for the Scientology court cases as well. So that's kind of my interest. I figured while I had some time on my hands, I could, read some of these court case documents, possibly just for other people's information. So, yeah. We are getting ready for Thanksgiving here.
Nice.
The house is in full explosion mode. So it's okay. We're doing the last minute shopping, the things that we forgot or they were out of at the store, things like that. And then later on this afternoon, I will start cooking some of the things that can be made early for the dinner. And then tomorrow morning at about 6 a.m., I'll wake up and we'll start cooking the whole spread. So that's kind of how it goes here for Thanksgiving. Anyway.
Yeah. What sort of food do you typically have for yours?
In the past, we've had turkey stuffing, which is like a stuffing mix. And
everyone's been talking about stuffing. I love stuffing.
Yeah, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, bread, corn. It's supposed to kind of emulate the types of foods that were there when the Pilgrims came to the United States on that kind of mythical sort of image, right? So yeah. So we eat a lot of those things. Some families eat prime rib instead of turkey. Some of our family
No, sorry, I was just going to say, yeah, like sort of for Christmas, turkey is
Yes.
like a big thing over here as well.
Yes.
But yeah, like because our family is quite small, we tend to just do a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So my
Oh,
mum
nice.
has new cookers this year, and she doesn't want to get them all fatty, greasy. So she's thinking of alternatives.
That's good.
And
There you
I
go.
was just home for the weekend, and she was like, "Oh, maybe I'll do a shepherd's pie."
That's
No,
good.
I don't go.
No, but it's a lot of fun. We have, I have dishes that my dishes that my great grandmother and actually her mom as well. We have those on recipe cards and things like that. So it's a real family kind of tradition thing, and we remember our grandparents and our ancestors and things like that. So it's nice.
Oh,
But
nice. That's really
yeah.
nice.
And then in the United States, the day after Thanksgiving, America just goes bananas crazy, I feel like, for Black Friday and all of these, must-have deals and, limited time offers and things like that. So I think it's a good
Exactly.
subject. Yeah.
Yeah, which then came over here about sort of 10 or so years ago.
No, I wondered
And
about
it's
that,
so,
Claire. Yeah,
yeah.
I wonder because you guys don't celebrate
Why
anything
I knew
big.
about it. No, exactly. Yeah. So it's just only about consumerism, which so I will premise that I did this because being in the ethical community, I've always heard of and because I've been in that sort of like kind of for like 15 years almost, but sort of more heavily like over like the past 10 years.
Yeah.
I've always heard of Black Friday being about slavery. So that was kind of one of my things for like doing this because it's still, I still have that in my head that that's what it's
Yes.
like, that's what it's from. And I've never like to use the word sort of Black Friday and things like that. So within the ethical community, we call it Green Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But we will go on to some maybe sort of bad sides of that's now coming with greenwashing. But anyway,
Yeah.
but then within doing this, I found out that it's nothing to do with that. That was all just like someone dug into something and, and made it about that. Which is nicer to know because
Yes.
obviously it's awful to think of things like that, but obviously still there's like the the mass consumption and sort of like I don't know what it's like constantly over there, but when it first came here, it was in particular Asda that brought it over, which I think is, I don't know if it's Walmart that it's similar to you guys there, but it's basically their they were like our first sort of discount supermarket.
Oh, I see.
And they do like clothes and that as well. We have since gotten Lidl and Aldi, which is more from the European side, or European continent side, because we are still part of Europe. That sort of kind of is over here now. So they all kind of compete. But it was Asda that brought it over first, and oh my god, I remember, and even sort of we've had it with like IKEA's in sort of the like when they kind of open up new stores, there'll be like these massive queues, and then like you hear of sort of people getting trampled and this and the other, not very nice things, and things that then like sort of having been someone that's like worked in retail in the past, God, like why are people doing it? It's like it's such a disappointment in the end.
It really is. Yeah. It's so silly.
There were sort of tricks that I kind of know that the shops would do, that they will still be doing, which is upping their prices just before. And it's something, so within what I do, my teaching, one of the platforms that I'm with, they give discount for this weekend. And but they do it in a really decent way to us as tutors, in that they fork out for that discount. So we still get the full amount,
Oh.
but then they do give discount. Yeah.
They take the discount
The
part,
hit. Yeah,
for themselves.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's nice.
So yeah, it's
Mhm.
so nice, and it's the only way I will, like, support the weekend, because
Yep.
in anything else that I do, it's like it's at a price that if I give any discount off, it's taken away from maybe sort of the time that we might want to take over doing, whatever it is, like sort of making the product and things like that,
Yeah.
doing the alteration. It's sort of, there isn't kind of that room to give the discount.
Exactly. Yeah.
So so it's sort of a lot nicer. So, and with that is being a time in previous years. This year I did my price rises a bit sort of gradually over this year.
Yes.
Which has like sort of worked really well. Still, because I was worried about like cost of living and things. But before, I was also using that as a time I would up my prices, like sort of the day of the discounts. Not enough that it's sort of like whatever discount is just like taking it back, but it's sort of like I kind of generally rise maybe about £3 to £5 an hour. But yeah, just so that I can sort of do that, so then it's making my worth more sort of uplifted in a way. But then obviously sort of people were getting that discount, so then it's not like that sort of initial hit to them. Whereas like this year I did it like a few months ago, because I only upped it by like a couple of pounds, and then I sort of upped it a bit more, because obviously cost of living is affecting us all, so I need to increase my wages to sort of be in line. So then now I don't need to do that, so then they'll sort of get that added discount, which is really nice.
That is nice.
But yeah, so it's just kind of you might think that you're getting a deal, but yeah, having worked in the retail, I know that sort of places will up the price. And there was actually a bit of a I don't know if it was like Channel 4, they do these like investigations sometimes into sort of different businesses or whatever, and they did it into like all these sofa and sort of bed kind of places. They're always like constantly like in discount, and they found within that they were sort of would like up their prices,
like inflating and deflating.
So then it literally wasn't, they weren't giving any discount, it's just they were giving discount on the price that they just made things.
Exactly. Make people think they were getting a discount, right?
Exactly. Right, so I just wanted to make sure that everyone watching is liking this stream, and if you wish to subscribe, then do. We apologize for having not done a stream last week, but obviously you had my sort of rescheduled pre-show on a Wednesday instead. Whitney was having some dental work done, which is very nice. There we go. Just in time for Thanksgiving.
I know. No.
And just to say hello to Maya as well. Hello, ladies. Hello, gentlemen. Hello and welcome. And she's saying that your Thanksgiving sounds exhausting.
Thankfully, I have some help. So.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. And so in the US, is a sale only on Black Friday. Yeah, because we have a thing, which I don't know if it's in America or not, but it's so like a lot of them, they're doing it like from Thursday. So like if you go on my hobby side, you will find discount from tomorrow. But yeah, so they're doing discount from Thursday until like sort of the Sunday.
Yes.
Or occasionally all the way through, and then Monday is like Cyber Monday. So whether there'll be the same discount or like extra discount, but it's like it tends to only be online.
Yes.
But then a lot of places will do the discount like all this week that's being.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, so I don't know exactly sort of what.
And yeah, here it seems like every person I've ever bought a product from has contacted me this past week telling me that there's a Black Friday sale, whether it's for, you know, it could be groceries, it could be just kind of toilet paper, but it's all on sale, and it's all going to be on sale on Black Friday. So we almost had we almost have like a season.
Black November last year.
Black November.
It's very excessive.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I've kind of seen emails and advertising already, you know, quite frankly, starting November 1st about, you know, kind of hyping the Black Friday discounts, what will be coming. Plus the stores sometimes do like kind of cheesy little raffle type of, you know, spin the wheel, see how much you get, how much discount you have type of thing going as well.
I get some of them. Yeah. One thing hitting yarn, which actually didn't work when I used it. So I was like, but then I sort of look at my yarn and I'm like, yeah, I don't really need any more. That's what I've got. So I'm being good, but yeah, it's terrible because I do get sort of tempted, you know, when you sort of kind of have some downtime. I'm like, oh, to keep my hands busy.
I know. Yes. Especially when I see things like, I don't know if you saw the coat that Reese got, the vintage.
Coat.
Did you
see? It's beautiful, and it's so funny because you know, sort of like you can tell it's real, and you know, sort of I don't believe it would have necessarily have been from the shearing because they wouldn't spend all that time to put it into the coat. So sorry, Reese, there was baby lambs killed in that, but hopefully they went to meat because I'm all about you know, using the whole animal if it's got to be used. But I have one that is like a teddy bear coat. And it is so fake. You know what? I was thinking about it when she did that. I was like, I should really get that out because I might end up talking about it. It is so fake, but I can't. I've got too much stuff there. It's so fake. But oh my God, I've worn it before. Like when there's been sort of like sustainable things that I've gone to sort of in the winter months.
Yes.
So much warm. But it's like sort of only cropped. And people thinking, look at me, as if it's real. And I'm like, well, unless I killed a teddy bear. I honestly, I've never seen anything more fake. Like it's
Claire, what are you doing?
Honestly, don't.
Teddy bears? No.
Yeah, don't kill your teddy bears.
No. That's cool. You should wear that coat. I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah. I will. Yeah, I don't know. I might venture over. My camera might go all over the place. What I was going to say, it is like so fake, but still. And I'm like, and then one of my friends, she got one that was like pink. Yeah. And sort of kind of long, like sort of Reese's, which is obviously so fake. Yeah, and she was like, people look at her, and I'm like, you know, they just, it's like anything, you know, sort of. People don't often, and it's hard because it's sort of, it's when you kind of get the, as been said, sort of with things recently, sort of armchair kind of people. Yeah. Who don't ask questions and they just go harding with like their opinion on stuff. You know, like, it's like someone looking and judging before asking the question. You know, so
Yeah. And it
you know, because
and some
obviously
of the
you
furs,
can get
yeah,
a giant one, but you know, it's sort of
yeah,
I don't know, like at least ask a question before you judge someone. Really.
exactly, right. Like, where did you get that coat, or what is it made of, type of thing, right? Even,
You know, like if you're so curious that
mhm,
you're making judgments, you know, it's
yeah,
sort of because I don't, you know, sort of I don't judge on things like that. I'm more judgy on fake things.
yeah,
You know, so it's sort of I would prefer things to be real and natural,
yeah,
because then obviously sort of at the end of the day it will then biodegrade. But equally I don't condone anything being killed just for
right,
its outside appearance.
exactly.
You know, because sadly it does happen in the industry. But
For a
yeah.
while, there was a while, there was a period of, I think it was 3 or 4 years, where I would go to, I live in Southern California, in an
Mm.
area where a lot of older people retire to. So there's a lot of estate sales. I know this sounds creepy, but people pass on and then they have estate sales, which is like just all of their belongings. And I have
Yeah.
found some beautiful pieces of fashion, including beautiful minks and fur
Oh,
stoles.
nice.
Um,
Yeah.
and I take those and then I would put them on Etsy and sell them. And there were some that were just like there was a mink stole that had been made up in LA, I think at Nordstrom's or something. It was, from
Oh.
back the 50s, I think it was, or something. But it had provenance to it or whatever. And I sent it to a woman for her mother's birthday, and she just loved it. I mean, I just
Oh,
figure,
that's so lovely.
yeah, if somebody else can get enjoyment out of, you know, this poor animal's beautiful, I don't
And
know.
that's the thing, like sort of secondhand and vintage is
Yes,
like perfect for anything like that. You know, it's sort of if you're because you know, sort of real also has an added layer of being extra warm,
it's extremely.
but also having like natural uh sort of weather repellent sort of
Yes. Mhm.
ness to it.
Yeah.
um, and
Mhm.
you know, so it's sort of it's very good in that sort of sense.
Mhm.
And you know, and with kind of buying secondhand
Yeah.
in whatever way, you know, sort of you always have that added sort of knowledge, but you know, sort of knowledge in like positive knowledge, that's the word.
Yes. Yeah.
That you are you know, you're using what's already out there, and you're not, you know, you buying that, you know, that animal was, you know, sort of had passed in whatever manner
Mhm.
many years ago. You're not adding to new
The
animals being
strive. Yes. I'm
harmed.
not
Yeah.
adding to the suffering. Yeah.
And you know, but so you know, and I think sort of kind of what you know, sort of like what more could someone ask for really than kind of
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
So
But
better.
I don't think they make, as far as I know, I haven't seen any sort of fur makers, or I think fur just in general has really gone out of style completely. Real fur.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some big protests
Yes.
on sort of London Fashion Week, maybe sort of like 6 or so years ago.
Yes. Mhm.
And I think that like really sort of put an end to it. And like I know like many of the supermodels and things like that sort of won't put their names to those sort of products as well.
Mhm.
And sort of newer designers coming through also are
Yes.
against it. So I think that sort of is helping
Yeah.
to move that trend on, which is obviously very good.
Mhm.
So yeah, well, you
That's
know,
good.
sort of better all round. Fabulous. So let me add these slides to
Oh, yes.
here. So what do we think when we think of Black Friday? Massive queues, everyone rushing, as I've got written there, a time of mass consumption fueled by greed, or rather low prices and marketing that told us we needed something for cheap.
Mhm.
Which is kind of what I always put it down to, is kind of the marketing. You know, like, I will never say that people shouldn't, that it's on people's own consciences to not buy cheap,
Right.
because it isn't their fault in a way. You know,
Right.
it is down to the these big sort of companies producing things for such a low cost that
Right.
people are paid properly to make it and things like that.
Mhm.
But equally, it is it is for us to make our own decisions as well when we have the money to shop better. You know, there are other ways to shop cheaply. You know, my sister has just had my niece, second baby, and she has been given so many sackfuls of clothes. And I was going to give her a subscription for a clothing rental place for the new baby, which she doesn't need. But she's actually now thinking that she will take it for my other niece, my older niece, who is 8, because she's just got so many clothes for this baby, you know.
Yes.
And that's so nice to sort of hear happening and see happening and see it a whole lot more. You know, when she had my niece Madison, she got some clothes from that sort of second hand, but obviously now that she's in this circle of sort of other mums, and like they all have, you know, sort of 2 or 3 sort of siblings, that she's then getting a lot more, which with like this newer baby, which is just so lovely. So I really like that. So I just think sort of it is happening where people are sort of doing more of that kind of passing on hand-me-downs and things like that. Because I do feel like it went away, sort of, whether it was like out of fashion to do so, or just sort of people didn't have friends and family to pass it on to. I don't know. But yeah, it's really nice to sort of hear this coming back a lot more.
Yes.
Dang, oh, poor cashiers.
Look at that poor guy. Oh my gosh.
I just, yeah.
Oh, he only has one other guy to help him.
Literally.
There's only one dude helping him. Oh.
You know. So yeah, I just sort of like, I saw this image and I was like, I need to put that in because it just sort of pulls my heartstrings so much. Remembering those times. You never forget where you came from. And yeah, it's sort of these are similar crowds that I would see in my tiny little monsoon store. Where people would be moaning that we didn't have, you know, more people on the checkout or whatever. And it's because I wasn't allowed to hire more people or, you know, whatever red tape of, exactly. And, or, you know, sort of like everyone would come to our store to do all their refunds. So then there's sort of, obviously that takes like twice as long to put through the till often. So, really, really hard. So wherever you are shopping, whatever day, please be kind to your cashiers. And
now, I think the internet has helped a little bit, I believe, with this, you know, the crazy chaos of the shopping day, right? This kind of craziness, because of, I think the internet has helped alleviate that somewhat. But
Yeah.
I do remember just even back in the 80s and 90s, you know, it was crazy. People would get trampled trying to get into like a Kmart, trying to get a good deal on a Cabbage Patch doll or, you
Yeah.
know, things like that. It was really pretty scary because, and I could never really understand it, but I don't have kids. So it feels like a lot
Mm.
of that is for kids' toys or something really new for kids. So I don't know.
Yeah, definitely that. And like over here, it's always being electronics was always
Yes.
like the big one to get like the discounts on. So yeah, it was like when it first came over, I always remember TVs. TVs was a big thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like sort of computers and things like that.
Oh, yes. Yes.
But yeah, and then definitely sort of kids' toys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so Best Buy would be packed and yeah, like those Best Buy or those or Staples, I guess, those computer type places or Costco.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We have like Curry's PC World. They
Mhm.
sort of merged. Yeah, and yeah, all sorts of different things. So, but yeah, like you say, sort of, I think kind of once they started like sort of with that and then introducing like the Cyber Monday,
Yeah.
it's sort of like from then sort of online shopping has then become bigger.
Yes. Mhm.
Which obviously is better for anyone trying to miss the crowds.
Yes.
But yeah, it is really interesting actually because obviously since the collapse of Arcadia and Topshop, there's a massive Topshop on Oxford
Mhm.
Circus, which is like the big main high street in London, central London.
Oh,
Um, before their collapse, oh my god, like Oxford Street, like you couldn't get through it even on a
yeah.
normal Saturday. It was just so
Packed.
busy.
Yeah.
Whereas like I go up there now, I mean the whole place just looks so different. They're knocking down buildings left, right, and centre,
Mhm.
and it's like it just doesn't have like the same vibe. I don't
Yeah.
feel anymore.
Mhm.
Now IKEA is going to go in that building because it's absolutely massive, so that will be
Yeah.
interesting when that goes in there. But yeah, it is like sort of it's a time. It's like sort of even I don't know if you guys have Next out there, but we have Next, which is like a big they do like all sorts of clothes, men's, women's, kids, and
Mhm.
they have a big not New Year's, Boxing Day sale.
Oh. Mhm.
And literally people queue up from like 2 a.m.
Oh my
They
god.
open at like 5 a.m. You know, so that's like
Oh.
sort of like Christmas that evening,
Just
and
camping out
you
just for a
know, like
second.
it's just crazy, and
I've done
so
that for concert tickets or, you know, like
yeah.
concert tickets maybe or a show or a performance, but not to go shopping and spend more money. Right.
No, exactly,
Yeah.
and it's so bizarre because like it's for Next when really, you know, like
Mhm.
sort of things in there are like sort of 30, 50, you know, maybe like a max of like
Yeah.
120 for like a suit or something like that. You know, like nothing is really ever being that expensive in there, you
Yeah.
know, sort
Yeah.
of. So it's just like really weird, but it's like some
Yeah.
sort of ritual. Like I never, because again, I always worked in retail, so I was always working that day, so I could never go and do it anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
But equally, I never had the desire to.
Yeah.
Um, like it's like this like weird ritual, like I say, that sort of, oh my god, everyone, like I bet like everyone in the UK at some point has gone and stood in the queue for that sale because it's just
Yes. Yeah. It's like a
it's
rite of passage there. It's like
literally
something everybody's done.
exactly.
Oh.
So sorry, let me just see what I wrote here. So Every year, the confusion and chaos of Black Friday depends upon the capitalist. Oh, sorry. Descends, that's meant to say, descends upon the capitalist world. Because again, this is the one that said European, and I was like, well, it's not just European, it came over here from somewhere. Causing lots of frantic and often needless spending, which often ends in disappointment and even violence. The term Black Friday was coined in the 1980s. Now, I did see there was something that I was watching that said, I'm sure about the 1950s when it was first used by a woman, but I can't remember her name, and I didn't get to looking back on it. But it was first coined for the use in sort of sales in the 1980s. To describe the stores making money around this time of year. And it's really interesting because when I heard that, it was like a sort of, they said it in a way of like supposedly the stores are making money, you know? So it's like it's even a given that they go into the black, basically. So
well, yeah, and that was kind of, remember I'm a little bit older than you, but that was kind of my perception back then was Black Friday was if you were in a fiscal year, Black Friday, the day after November 25th, was the year that you took your company from red to black into the black, and then everything else, the rest of the year, was just pure profit, pure income, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how closely that linkage is now. I think it's now Black Friday has just kind of lost its term, and it doesn't refer to being in the black, right? Being in the black on your finances, right?
Exactly. So, yeah. And just to throw up some comments here. Hello, Ray. When I give my nieces cash, I always encourage them to buy experiences instead of things. Very good. Idea. I've got a slide on that. And hello, Joe. I'm always baffled but amused that that we even have Black Friday sales in the UK, given we have no Thanksgiving. Yeah, but that's the thing, Joe. It's not about Thanksgiving.
Well, we always in America, we always think that you guys are celebrating on Thanksgiving. You're celebrating that the Americans are no longer associated with you.
I think that's so funny.
You go shopping.
I know. We're just living our lives.
Like, yay! We don't have to deal with the Americans. So let's go shopping.
Maybe we should make that holiday. Yeah. Give her. I love you all. But yeah, so then as I sort of say at the top of this, shop ethical instead, and I call it Green Friday, because sort of we shouldn't be shopping because we're being told to shop. We should be anything we buy should be because we want it or we need it, practically and sort of for personal reasons rather than being told that we need it. So yeah, I just think that's sort of something important to kind of put across to everyone. And shopping ethically doesn't mean like sort of means different things to different people. So sort of think of what your own personal ethics are, and then sort of find companies that you wish to shop with that share that same sentiment. Because I think there's nothing worse than sort of shopping somewhere just because someone tells you, sort of to shop there.
Like now's the time to get the stuff. Yeah,
exactly. So then I've just got here from an account that I came across on Instagram. Green is the new black. Don't buy stuff you don't need. Tell someone you love them. Grow food. Play in the rain. Plant a tree. Smile at a stranger.
Mhm.
Do you really need all that stuff? And the best things in life are free, like the song, and don't destroy our planet. Please and thank you. Which I just like, as soon as I came across it, I just thought that was really sort of nicely put. I think it's more from last year. And I just think sort of if people can take from that, then take what you wish.
Mhm.
And then this is something that has gone around sort of within my community sort of ever since I've been a part of it. Now, often the triangle is up the other way round, but actually I really like it round this way. So it's the hierarchy of needs. And it's basically sort of, so you've got like buy at the very bottom, because that should be what sort of the last thing that you come to.
Right.
So anything that you're thinking to get someone, you should go through these stages basically. So, a present for grandma, right? What do I have that I can maybe sort of put together and give? What can I, obviously you wouldn't necessarily borrow something to give to someone, but maybe that sort of, if you're wanting to grow something, maybe you need to borrow a spade or something, that kind of goes to that. What can you get from swapping or exchanging stuff? So say like you go to a clothes swap, you might say, well, I don't need anything, but what can I get for someone else? The buy in bulk, I don't really get, but I suppose that sort of also goes to maybe when you're doing your food shop, can you buy a bit more to spend a bit less?
Yes.
And then sort of maybe like in like meal preparation, can you mass make meals and then sort of put them in the freezer?
Yes.
Or can you make something for the person, and then the very least, you might have to buy something. But if you do buy, then just think about where you're shopping basically.
So great idea.
I quite like that. So think of activities that bring you lasting enjoyment, because obviously I should have got up the statistic for this, but there is a stat that was brought out a few years ago where they did a trial, and it was shown that you get an adrenaline rush when you're shopping in a shop. And you get that adrenaline rush all the way from when you find the thing that you want until you're getting up to the till, and then you come to pay, and that literally leaves you then. And it's really interesting, because then when you think about it, when you next go and buy something, think about how you're feeling, and it actually is like very true. Like I've noticed it in myself. So then you lose that sort of adrenaline rush once you're then paying for the item,
right?
And then you go out the shop, so that then you're going for then the next shop to then get that again. So like you're sort of constantly chasing that. So kind of think about things that will bring you lasting enjoyment for that after you've purchased it. So sort of maybe it is a piece of clothing. Think about how many outfits you can put that in. Think of how many occasions you can wear that. If it's to give a gift for someone, so you might get that sort of adrenaline rush when you're purchasing, say experience or something, is it something that you can do with the person, at a later date? So then you've sort of got the excitement until then, like you go to do the thing.
Yeah.
And then you get the memories of the experience and then will then last afterwards.
Nice.
Other things that you can do as a group. Is there something that you can do on your own to give yourself some self-love? Because it's interesting, because I've been going through a journey of self-love this year, and it's kind of what I always thought self-love is what I thought I was giving myself. But it's really interesting sort of when you kind of break it down and understand sort of what truly sort of matters to you. So yeah, sort of, will it be something like that, whether it's a spa, whether it's, giving yourself an experience doing something, learning a new skill. Or is there a show that you want to go and see, sort of maybe something that you don't otherwise splurge on that you will do because they've got discounts on tickets or whatever, it's sort of like I say with the skills learning, because I get a discount on other people's experiences a bit sooner than the general public. I will then obviously often go through and sort of plan out some activities like for the year. To sort of make sure that I get downtime, because it's very easy for me to, even though I have a day off, still do stuff within my business and things like that. So it's sort of I try and sort of pre-plan out stuff, otherwise
that's good.
Otherwise,
no, that's it's very smart to do that. I came out of a work environment that was extremely intense. We worked, I worked basically anytime I was needed, So it does become quite exhausting sometimes to always kind of be on, having the feeling of you could be called, right, to go in and deal with an issue. But, really trying to just let yourself relax completely, and to just let yourself relax and not think about any sort of deadlines and things like that. And then just be kinder to yourself in that way. The Scientologists have this a lot. Well, the feeling you have to be 100% productive at all times.
Yeah.
I have that big time, right?
Definitely.
And it's really hard for me to pull back, and I feel guilty about it sometimes, So you really mentally have to really think about it, right? And how you want to care for yourself, how you want to do those things. And I think that's great. You're doing that. Yeah.
It's so it doesn't always kind of work out, but mostly it does. Because this year I didn't do it. I got some that were more kits that then I haven't done. So I know that I need to do things that are more in person. So that's what after the stream I will be going on there and seeing what's available. I just think sort of it's such a nice thing because also with our family this year we're doing no presents to each other really.
Good.
Just for the kids. So then sort of I can kind of just think about what I want for myself, rather than having to go to my mum and be like, or sort of like our family chat and be like, these are all the things that you can choose what you want to get. And then my mum has this thing that she has to get it all for me, and I'm like, no, Mum. Or she's like, oh, but then it takes the joy out because then you know what's coming, and I'm like, that's why I'm giving you so many different options.
Just pick one.
You just have to pick whatever. Because then it still has the I don't know what's coming, and it saves me getting stuff that I don't need.
Yes.
got so
Yes.
much stuff.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah. So yeah, just a little thing to put it out. Sort of.
What we've been doing with my family is, because most of everybody in my family, we don't have children in the family anymore. So we usually have during Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow, we'll have draw hands or draw papers to see who buys who a gift. And it's like a secret. So until you get your gift,
So
you don't know who bought it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So like you can buy it. Do you have a certain
Mhm.
date that you get to buy it up until? Like when
Well, usually Christmas. Yeah. Usually they would get
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Because
So like,
like, we do like Secret Santa,
yes. Yes.
which is like the same thing.
Mhm.
And then like you give it at Christmas. But I kind of like the idea that you're sort of doing it in like a family setting, so then you can
Yes.
sort of
And we're only buying one present for one other person. So all of the mess of the paper, the wrapping papers and, all that stuff, it's much easier to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that idea. Might have to adopt that in our family as a considering my niece's birthday is obviously sort of like the weekend just gone. It's sort of quite a good sort of time period to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So then I've just got down the bottom here that when you do buy, shop local, secondhand, check out the ethics of the business, and whether they resonate with you. And sort of if you in particular go to some sort of like the sort of proper sustainable stores, as I sort of call them, on their websites, they will have, often sort of the what's called the SDGs, so the Sustainable Development Goals. So then you can see, they give, they help sort of like a particular group of people. They are good for the planet, sort of they don't harm animals, all those sort of things, to then be able to sort of resonate it with you. Some sites just have their own sort of ranking system, again, that goes along a similar lines, whether it's for people, planet or animals. So it just sort of makes the shopping experience a lot easier. And obviously, if anyone has any shops that sort of they like to shop at, I will put together a list and probably put it in the bio of this video over like sort of the next few days. So then people can sort of go and look at them. But obviously, I only really know UK places that I sort of shop from, but I will sort of research them American ones as well. But yeah, so if anyone in Replay Crew, sort of watches and has any ideas for even like around like the rest of the world, because I get a lot of people. We get a lot of people watching in India for our videos. So I don't know if they're actually people there, if it's just like a VPN thing. But welcome. And a bunch of people watching on subtitles as well. So I apologize. I was meant to calm my slow my talking down a bit to help with that, because we had a bit of a conversation about understanding people the other day. And I have failed to do that in myself, so I apologize.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was just gonna make up Ray. I've learned to shop with my eyes first, walk away, have a coffee, then come back and see if I still want the item. Many times the answer is no. That is a really, really good
great idea
way to go about it, actually. Yeah. Go away and have a think. Sort of, because obviously sort of a lot of people got into this thing of, oh, I'll buy it all and then I'll return it,
Right.
which is fine. But at the end of the day, how many items do you have in your wardrobe or around your house that have never had labels taken off, that
Yeah.
you have never used? You know, it's sort of, it's so easily done that, you know, sort of you either don't have time to go back out to the shops to return it, or you know, sort of maybe something happens, you've got a stain on it or something, so then you
Right.
can't return it, you lose the receipt, you know, all sorts of different things can happen. So just have that break from the shop, and then sort of really kind of think about what
Mhm.
your want and need is for that particular item.
I usually do that with really large purchases. Because I'm not a person who makes snap judgments about anything at all. I'm kind of really analytical in my head. So I usually just go shopping if I see a bunch of things that I'm thinking about and I'm not sure what I like. And then if I'm still thinking about it 2 days later, I'm like, oh, okay. So
Yeah, that's a really good way to do
if
it.
it's
Yeah,
still
I
in
try
my
to do that.
if it's still in my brain. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the amount of like empty carts I have on
I know.
my phone, you know, it's sort of yeah, where I've been like I've gotten off the bus or whatever, you know, it's sort of if it isn't that, then it's me half answering a client or something, and then they
Yeah.
come back to me like I had one recently, and I was like, I'm sure I emailed you, and then I couldn't find it. It was like all these like blank emails because it hadn't actually saved properly. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
no.
that's
Oh, no.
that's how it goes. So yeah, but yeah, it's so funny because like sometimes I'll do that with carts as well, because like sometimes you get that little like reminder email, and then they might give you some discounts. So you know, I'm
Yeah,
always up for that, but
that's
it's
true.
happening less and less. So I think it's sort of because obviously where I shop from has changed. They don't do that so much, which obviously is a good thing because their prices shouldn't be that high that they can give that discount. But yeah,
Yeah.
it does sort of make me laugh. So then just some sort of added ways to shopping ethical instead. Like I say, sort of experiences. So whether that is like taking someone for one of them sort of car experiences,
Right.
or like bungee jumping or whatever.
We have
Um,
indoor skydiving places here.
oh,
Yeah.
seeing Reese's song. Oh my god, it looks so
Oh,
fun. It
yes.
looks so fun.
Yeah.
I really want to do a ski parachute the next time I go skiing.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
My big
fun.
4-0 next year. So yeah, I was like last year I was like, yeah, that's what I really want to do.
Yeah.
I haven't booked it yet, but we're going skiing in March. So
I want video of that.
yeah, literally, me too. Yeah, I have to find a way to strap my GoPro on. But yeah, so that will be really, really fun. But yeah, sort of that is kind of because it's so funny. Like my mum, like I remember sort of last year I asked for money towards like me going sort of getting some ski lessons.
Yeah.
And like sort of the dry ski slope before we went, because I wanted to break in some new boots that I got. And she's really, really funny with these things. She wouldn't really give me money towards it. She was like, because then like she gets worried. I don't know, you know, that I'm gonna do
It's
whatever.
dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
like she's been good enough, and sort of my inheritance from my granddad has paid for my sort of past 2 times going skiing, which is really nice.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I sort of feel like I keep kind of saying that I'm going to do this, but yeah, we'll sort of see if I get any money towards it, because
Yeah.
it's yeah, she's like, it's as if like, you know, sort of if something was to happen to me because she put money towards it, she'd get like really guilty. And it's like, you know, I'm going to be strapped onto a professional. It's like I'm doing it on my own, so I don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, the indoor skydiving I would like to have a go at as well, because
Yeah.
I'd also like to sort of do that properly. But yeah, I don't know where a local skydiving place is though, but yeah, there's bound to be one somewhere.
Mhm.
Also holidays, you know, sort of you might decide that you want to take a friend away, or, you know, sort of a partner or something, family, and, you know, sort of that can be a little exciting trip as a holiday gift, as a gift to someone for whatever the reason might be for the gift. Also to learn new skills. So you might have someone that's a bit crafty, or that isn't crafty, but sort of you kind of think might enjoy something. You know, give them that gift.
We have these places around here for, you know, little places that you can make things, like little places where you can like create some pottery and then paint the pottery, and they'll,
I was going to say, yeah, we have a
Yeah.
lot of pottery painting places popping out.
And those
yeah, and
are
I
fun.
think they're really nice. Yeah. Because, you know, it's just something that you can sort of do with sort of like a small group of you or whatever. Yeah, and just like things that you can sort of plan ahead to do, you know, sort of like maybe like a couple of weeks, a couple of months after sort of the date that you've given the gift.
Right.
Yeah, and then you sort of, and then you also, you come away with something, you know. That's what I think is so nice about something where like you're learning a skill, because you physically take away like what you've done.
Yes. It
which
goes
I
with
think
you.
is so
Yep.
nice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's something useful along with that. And also then handmade gifts. You know, is there something that you can upcycle for someone, or you know, sort of have an experience to learn how to make something, but then equally you are making a gift within that for someone else, is really nice. I remember when I was young, I did these, I don't know if it was like Blue Peter or something that had it on, but wherever it was, I got this idea to take plant pots, the terracotta ones, and to paint on the outside, and then like you put a little bag in, and then you can put your used tea bags in.
Oh, cute.
Yeah,
so it's a great idea.
Like the bag would be like a biodegradable one or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, they were, you know, I don't even know how old I was, but yeah, I remember like my nan absolutely loved it, and she used hers. My aunt was less on the homemade stuff.
Yeah, that's cool though.
You know, sort of, I
That's
thought that
awesome.
would be cool.
Yeah.
You know, so sort of like that's always something that people can do. You know, there's a lot of things coming out sort of more recently where like you can do like sort of make a ball, or like the wreath for the door and things like that, which I think are really nice sort of gifts to do. Give someone a living plant, you know, rather than flowers that are sort of like cut flowers and things like that, you know, something that will again sort of last more than one day. Is always quite a nice thing. And then shopping secondhand, you know, sort of for whatever, you know, kind of whether it is even sort of something electronic, you know, there's plenty of places, more so nowadays, where it's sort of really good, high quality, refurbished products that then sort of, you know, are at a discounted price, and but you know, sort of just work just as good as sort of like something that's bought brand new. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything more to say on that, but that was the last of my slides. So I will take that off.
No, when I was younger, I used to cross stitch when I was younger. So I would make little ornaments and things like that for people sometimes. But I've kind of gotten away from doing that sort of thing, but I think I might go back into it now.
Yeah, like I've been I haven't gone back to my paintings for a little bit, but yeah, sort of that's what I've been doing sort of recently, is kind of painting them often with like someone in mind that I want to give it to, but then other times not. Yeah, and then sort of kind of gifting them as a little thing, just sort of give away. Yeah, exactly. I think it's because then sort of like it's given me the enjoyment of doing the painting, but then I don't have to like store them. So yeah,
they can go live their life, the painting life.
Exactly. Yeah. I always have this thing of sort of like, I hope they don't just like chuck it in the bin or whatever. But yeah, so it's makes me feel nice, and then hopefully obviously them for having received it. And Sophia says it pretty much boils down to another specific name for a further sale outside of the US.
Yes.
Consumerism at its worst. Absolutely, Sophia. That is my sentiments on that, 100%. And but sort of equally, it's sort of I don't want to be here kind of telling people that they can't shop. If you want to go and shop, then shop. Just maybe think about where you're shopping, and sort of what you're buying, and in which way it will benefit you, sort of afterwards. Because it's sort of it's very easy to get sort of swept up in all this sort of marketing of you need something new when you don't. Sort of your clothes sort of work very well that like you've already got in your wardrobe, which speaking of which, I will talk about this the cardi, which I have had. It's just like really short.
Cute.
I've had this since 2005 or 6.
Ooh.
This is a birthday present, I think it was, for when I was in when I was at Brighton Uni. It was one of my housemates who was also in the same class as me. She brought me this one, and I've got another one. Someone else brought me that one. But and it's really nice, 100% wool. And it's from Topshop, so now I'm calling it vintage. But it's sort of like I've had this like all this time, and I don't always wear it. And actually, I don't think I've really worn it for the past few years. But I got it out this year, and I was like, I really, sort of, it kind of is really cute, and I really want to wear it. So obviously not to tell people to hoard all their stuff for years until then they finally wear something, because I'm very terrible at that, and I'm trying to get rid of a lot of stuff so that I'm not doing that anymore. But it's, sort of, it just goes to show that, you have probably got something sort of in your house somewhere that you can sort of use for whatever purpose you need to use it for.
Yes.
That will be very still very relevant to use. So go and rummage around your house and
go shopping in my house.
But maybe do that tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. On the Friday, when you're sort of full and you don't want to move from your armchair.
Yes.
If you are celebrating Thanksgiving, or if you've just had a really big lunch.
It's just passed out with movies.
Because you'll be surprised what you can find, and sort of exactly what you were saying, Whitney. Just shop from your wardrobe, and see what you can get, because like I say, it's all marketing, and it all aim to get money in sort of the fat cat's pockets.
Yes.
They say.
Yes.
And sort of you should kind of celebrate what you've already got, and celebrate yourselves. Sort of, you don't need stuff to make you happy. You just need yourself, people around you, because I know that I get a lot of enjoyment for sort of having other people's companies. It's sort of that thing that I'm learning to understand, that even sort of being dependent on other people is sort of not, that doesn't go towards that sort of self-care and kind of self-love. That it's really sort of learning to be with yourself, and not in a staying in bed all day, but really being happy that you are achieving something by yourself. So I just think sort of that's kind of a really good point for people to get to. But sort of equally, kind of if you are feeling lonely, then remember that there's probably someone else in your life that is feeling as lonely. So just because other people haven't reached out to you doesn't mean that you can't reach out to them. Because I feel like that's a lot of things that's happening at the moment is kind of goes into that. Sort of, if you are feeling like you're getting itchy fingers around seeing an email that tells you about a discount, then maybe just put the phone down and go for a walk in nature, or sort of grab a pen and paper, and maybe even like write a list of things that you would like, and then sort of take some time to sort of research and kind of go through those things. Because you might have a list of 20, you might have a list of 1. It's sort of because I'm not saying that people don't ever need stuff, but sort of looking at a shiny email that is enticing you to click through and spin the wheel or whatever.
Yes, right.
Do you actually need what they are trying to offer you? It's sort of we as small businesses, yes, sort of people shopping with us helps us and allows us to sort of live our lives, but don't go breaking your bank just to help someone else. It's kind of all that I will say on that. But I don't know if you have anything else to add on that, Whitney. I'm sort of rambling on.
Not really, except for right along with those deals for big savings and stuff after Thanksgiving, there's a lot of scams as well. So please be careful. Be careful what you're clicking on and your emails and things like that. So
definitely, I'd go with that. Don't there's been like a big thing going around over here about sort of not clicking on sort of Facebook ads and Instagram and things like that. I will often take the website and go and type that into Google. I never click on the ad ones as well, like the top of Google. I will go down and find the website out of sort of after that. And always look at the about page, because that will tell you enough about whether it's like real people behind it.
Yes.
Because I really want to do a deep dive into Xiang and this Temu and things like that, because I know that many people don't realize, but they are AI shops. AI, or someone has built the AI to run those shops. So whatever you kind of see come up about them, and it's really interesting because I'm talking about this, and I will now get a load of YouTube ads on all the posts that I talk about afterwards, because I had this when I spoke about them a few weeks ago. I really noticed it. But yeah, so it's all AI. So I apologize for everyone's ads that you might get with this. But you know, again, with the scientific thing, I have Temu. Not that obviously I'm getting payment from ads, because I need like more subscribers and things. But you know, it's sort of like if they were paying for me, like they would be paying for my YouTube, because they're like all the ads that I get. Them and Tom Cruise.
Exactly.
But yeah, so
all Tom's movies.
don't. So in the about page, like you'll be able to find out, you know, if like there's real people behind it, and kind of I'll often look at sort of how you can contact the people as well, and kind of if it all sort of like looks a bit sort of generic, then sort of I kind of won't always go with them as well. Or sometimes, you know, they don't even have a way to contact them, which is always a red flag for me, because it's sort of, you know, anything could go wrong with whatever your purchase is. So then you need to get in contact with them. So they're my little top tips on that. But yeah, it's quite funny because being home at the weekend, my niece was saying to me, and her friend was telling me about how they're doing all this like cyber security thing. Their primary school, they are 8 years old, and they've been doing cybersecurity for like games and things, but then also about emails, which just made me laugh. And this friend of my niece's, she was, oh bless her, she was like really like, oh yeah, you know, because like we're just sending emails to each other, or like just to the teacher. And I'm like, I know, I understand. Sort of, I understand why, you know, like get them in there, but it just makes me laugh because I'm like 8-year-old sending emails. But yeah,
wow,
so,
I know.
bless them. But yeah, so they're very, very sweet. But
that's so cute.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, she's been playing that blocks game where actually that's like the one, you know, that they always say sort of randos. Your oddballs really, sort of contacting kids and things like that. So it's sort of a bit not the best. But yeah, so I don't know if you have any final words on that. Ray has said, thank you both for this discussion and great ideas. Thank you very much, Ray, and thank you very much for everyone that's watching. I realise as well, because obviously it has in the top like how many people watching. I think that is actually how many people have their eyes on the screen, because I realise that with the watch hours, when it goes up a lot, it's when people are constantly watching the screen. So just be aware of that, people, that your device is watching you. I appreciate you, but. Because I notice like it goes up and down like in the stream, and I don't believe that's always like people
coming in and out.
I think that is when they're
leaving the room maybe and then coming back. Wow, so that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So just you know, something to think about, because I'm very bad at my computer. My computer, I have a little slider thing on to cover up my camera, but like on my other devices, I haven't got them, so I should really put a piece of paper over. But so then just lastly to say from me, please like the stream, everyone that's watching now and in the future, replay crew. Subscribe if you wouldn't mind. So yeah, subscribe to Whitney. And if you wish to buy me a coffee, or buy me a tea rather, but more importantly, I would like people to either pay it forward for the sewing lessons, or towards my StreamYard fund that are in my wish list. You just are putting in what it, like with the buy me a tea, you just put in that however much you want to pay. You're not one person is singly paying for the whole thing, and kind of it will get to a certain amount and then I will pay in particularly for the StreamYard. But yeah, thank you to anyone that has that's the wrong one. Oh no, there is that one. To anyone that has paid for things so far. And this is Whitney's
thank you.
YouTube. So yeah, go and like and subscribe to her videos. And also when my StreamYard gets funded, that's when we can actually be streaming on both channels. That would be really nice to get to. So yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you very much, Whitney. That was
thank you for asking me.
Wonderful chat. That's all right, anytime. And yeah, so then next week, because we haven't, I don't think we'll be able to sort of fit in another stream this week, because I'm out Friday evening. So next week we will do another one on textiles and possibly on dyeing and things, which I think will be really nice.
Yay!
Fabulous, cool. Well, let me just go back to comments. Fabulous. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the chats around, and see you next week on this stream.
Okay.